Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is a quick review and thoughts of the PLM shift pin lock. It's also called the roll pin adapter. It's most commonly known, was introduced to me as the bitch pin delete. And what this is it's a piece that you replace. You got to do a little work on the shift linkage I'll show you about. There's a bunch of YouTube videos, by the way, so I'm not going to go over the install too much. You can watch those, but I've got a couple things I didn't find in any of those I'm going to share that might hopefully make this job easier for you. But what the part does is it replaces a piece in the shift linkage right where it comes out of the transmission and attaches to the linkage itself, where because there's some bushings there and there's a couple different interfaces, it allows a little bit of play. And so what this part does is it reduces that play. So that combined with my B&M shifter, which I installed and talked about a couple weeks ago in another video I recently did on my CRX, has made the shifting very tight, very notchy, much more notchy than stock. I love it. This is also, by the way, I added, this is a, I think this is a GSR, Acura GSR shift knob. I ordered it, and the part number it's a GSR. It also says Type R, but I know the Type R's look different than that. I have a piece of glass here, and the letters are white. But anyway, this is great. I love it. The combination. I'm done with these shift mods, and as you can see, it's quite tight. There's a tiny bit of play, but it's very notchy, super smooth, and I really like it. And with this GSR knob, it's actually more like a pistol grip, which is kind of cool. I'm getting used to it. I got the other one in here somewhere. Here's the stalker right here. So this is the stalker. They're about the same height. So the stalker's more of a grabbing it like that. So when I first got this, I was like, oh, pistol grip. Of course, you can grab it, but the pistol grip, but it's kind of cool. Still getting used to it, but I always swap out shift knobs all the time. I got a whole bunch in my garage I've used. So anyhow, this is great mod. It's 75 bucks, and I'll give you a couple thoughts. I also just while I'm doing updates on this car, I just cleaned most of the paint off my valve cover and shined up this a little bit, as is typical with Honda valve covers from the 80s and 90s. It's just the paint's peeling, so I cleaned up really well. There's a little bit of it still there, but I didn't want to remove it. I didn't want to have to pay for a new gasket, so I just worked on it with it up here, and it really came out nice. Thought about painting it, but honestly, I kind of like it. It just kind of looks old school with the flat aluminum. So let me show you under here. Again, there's several installs on this, but this is the part. Beautiful, very well made, and basically it just right here, the transmission where this comes out and attaches to the linkage, going up to the shift knob right there. Of course, there's the B&M shift knob. I talked about that in a previous video. But basically, there's a piece here you have to grind out, and then you replace the area in question with this mechanism here. And I'm gonna bend this actually before I put my car down, so just so it's less likely to possibly come out. But that's it. Very easy to shift, and definitely way less play than that, because before, as I said, there's a lot of play in this stock area. So let me show you a couple. I had two thoughts I think that might help with install on this. So the first thought is just getting the actual pin out, which has presented a lot of problems to people. So I said my prayers, and what I did is I just took this. I just had a 10 mil bolt in my box of bolts. Others have suggested you take the bolt out of the linkage over there where I was just pointing, and then you use that bolt, which it is the exact size, but I don't like the idea of hammering on a bolt that I'm going to put back in my car. So I just found one in my box of bolts that fit it perfectly, and this did. And so just find a bolt that looks about right. And I got the bitch pin out in like 60 seconds. So, I know this is a real problem for some people. I just got lucky or something. But all I did, of course, this pin was in here, and all I did was, of course, you pull this cover off first, and then exposing the pin, and then I just lined it up. And this is your friend. Get yourself, every man needs a 2-pounder. So get yourself a 2-pound hammer or greater. I cannot imagine being under there trying to use something like this. Number one, I'm doing it on ramps. So if you have a lift, that's different. But on ramps, you don't have a whole lot of room to swing. But this thing, it took like 6, doom, 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 doom. It took about 6 hits, and that thing came right out. I mean, literally under 60 seconds. It was super easy. So I'm grateful for that. So that's my first tip is get yourself a 2-pound. It'll make things so much easier. And you can use these all the time. I mean, this is one of those tools that, like, when you need it, it saves the day. So I'm glad that I invested in that a while back in my life. And then the other tip is there's this rubber boot, which is right up, you know, in the stock situation. And it's covering all this. And at first I didn't take it off. And then, because none of the instructions I've read anywhere or videos mention taking it off. In fact, one guy I saw a video, he actually left it on. And this is just a cover, it's a dust cover. It's not actually doing anything other than just protecting things. So I didn't want to have to take it off, but when I left it on and then I was trying to shift, when I was trying to go down to second and fourth and reverse, it was just compressing this boot and it wasn't allowing the gears to engage. So I called PLM and I talked to a couple guys on Facebook and they said, yeah, you need to cut that off. So I hate doing that, but you know, it's the only way to make it fit. So just FYI, if you're watching this and you're doing this install, that does need to come off. There's no way for it to stay on. And again, it just, when you're trying to shift, it just compresses and the piece, the PLM piece, just crushes it and against the transmission, and it won't engage the gears for that reason. All you really need for this, other than the 2-pound, is, you know, just I got a this was the Allen wrench for the job was a 3/16. So it was a 3/16, and I just put a 3/16 in this little ratchet and went to town on the Allens, and then you need a 12 and a 13. And that's it. I mean, it's very, very easy, aside from just taking some of the linkage apart and making everything fit. So yeah, great mod. The PLM. Would I do it again? I don't know. It's one of those ones that the B&M shifter like made a massive difference. That was like 90% of the difference. This next part, it was like 10 to 20%. You know, it wasn't huge. But I haven't actually driven it around yet, so I can't say, you know, I have a lot of experience how it feels in real life. But I'm going to actually do that right now. But just those are my tips for this. Good part. And that's about all we've got today with the CRX. All right, cool. Peace. Later.